Just below us here in Kansas City, Taylor Swift and Caitlin Clark, guard for the Indiana Fever. From Des Moines, been a Chiefs fan since she was a kid.
So guess who was eating some French fried taters and f***ing off her haters? Well, I don't know about the taters part, but the haters were 3 boxes deep in Kleenex. And I hope they were infused with aloe because the burn is real this time. Yup, Caitlin Clark went to watch her favorite football team win like they always do, and the internet exploded. Oh yeah, she was watching the game with Taylor Swift. Important detail. Now, could this have just been a casual hangout between 2 superstars? Maybe. But no, it's not. Why? Because so many people lost the over this. And you know what they say? You get the most flack when you're over the target. It all boils down to the hate is real because people know this is bigger than a casual encounter. It's more than just 2 gals watching a tight end. Okay, that didn't sound right. Stick around because I'm going to show what this Caitlin Clark Taylor Swift meetup really means for Caitlin, the WNBA women's sport, and the WNBA's old guard that just took a big fat L. 2025 is going to be an ugly year for the Kate haters for a number of reasons. This is just a taste. But first, hit that subscribe button. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend it. Not really, but I appreciate your support either way. Okay, so a quick recap of how we got here. Unless you've been living under a rock, Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs. Their love affair was plastered over every media platform nonstop. Love it or hate it, it was the biggest news story going on for a while. And it really ramped up when Taylor started attending Chiefs games. She was up in the private box. Okay, that sounded worse than my tight end comment. Hugging Mama Kelce and bringing high-profile friends like 0-time Grammy Award winner Lana Del Rey. I don't know why Lana deserved to catch a stray there, but it's true, so I'm leaving it in. Heck, the NFL had a promo video featuring Taylor something like 6 times. So yeah, this Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce thing is a big deal. Speaking of Travis, let's fast forward to how he and Caitlin are connected. Travis and his brother Jason host a podcast called New Heights. Not too long ago, they had Caitlin Clark as their guest, and they were pretty excited to have her on.
Alrighty, our guest today is a 6-foot guard from the University of Iowa, the NCAA all-time Division I scoring leader, the first pick of the WNBA draft, WNBA assist leader, all-star, and 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year. She's the most requested guest in the history of our show, the Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, Miss Caitlin Clark.
So yeah, she was their most requested guest. Not just because of her WNBA dominance and popularity, but also because she's a lifelong fan of Travis's team, the Kansas City Chiefs. I can see you putting the pieces together.
My dad was a big Chiefs fan growing up, so people think I'm like a bandwagon Chiefs fan. I'm like, no, I was there before Patrick and Travis. Like we were.
I love it.
We were ride or die, so we've been big fans, and now obviously all the success you guys have had has made it a lot of fun for us.
During that podcast, Clark didn't just talk hoops. She gushed about Taylor Swift, sharing her experience at the Eras Tour concert. She called it electric.
No, obviously it's just a great show and a lot of fun, and full Swiftie. Turned my mom into a full Swiftie now. And
Nice.
Two of my cousins were there too, so good time.
Oh yeah.
Good time.
Of course, this podcast went viral, and at that point, there was no way Caitlin wasn't going to get invited to a game with Taylor Swift. The stars had aligned, it was going to happen, and then it did, and people lost their While Taylor and Caitlin high-fived, embraced, and chummed it up, things got wild on X. People went bananas seeing Clark and Swift together, looking like old friends. Now sure, there were a lot of people happy about it, but we're not here to talk about happy people. We want to hear what the angry people were saying. That's what makes this a story. I'll get to that in a bit. But for now, get your palate ready, because here's a taste test of off X posts. We've got Nick Adams, who is done with pretty much everyone involved because of wokeness and election stuff. Then we've got Skip going in hard in all caps, saying Caitlin doesn't need to be seen with Taylor. There's this beauty about them bonding over their domination of white culture. And finally, Angel Reese caught a stray or two because the announcers discussed Caitlin's first team all-star recognition as a rookie, which Caitlin fans immediately used to remind the world Caitlin and Angel are not on the same planet talent-wise. Anyway, the frenzy was real. Everyone was talking about it, and there's a reason. It matters. This has big-time implications for Caitlin and the WNBA. I'm going to drop a brain-melting stat in a minute that proves it. As I mentioned earlier, the haters were on fire because they knew this wasn't just a casual, hey, want to watch a game with me kind of thing. It's calculated. Love or hate Taylor Swift, she's the biggest performer in the world. Her fans, the Swifties, are loyal and latch on to whatever Taylor does. Why do you think the NFL keeps featuring Taylor in the box? Because they know her fans will watch AstroTurf grow if there's a chance they'll catch a glimpse of Taylor. I mean, how many Swifties started watching football with their boyfriends, husbands, and cats because they wanted to see Taylor's love interest on the field and her reactions throughout the game? It's a high school love story about a girl who has a tough time with guys, but this could be the one, so we've got to tune in and watch the drama in real time. Her relationship with Travis Kelce has turned NFL games into must-see events. Seriously, people who couldn't care less about football are suddenly glued to their screens, hoping for a reaction of Swift in the stands. It was a massive crossover moment. And here's the stat I mentioned. It's estimated that Taylor's association with the NFL created $330 million in brand value. 1/3 of $1 billion. It's insane. And this is why the haters, the old WNBA guard, the biased media, they're beside themselves right now over Caitlin Clark's attendance. It's another crossover moment. Like Swift, Clark has also brought in a new audience to her arena, not just basketball diehards, but casual viewers intrigued by her talent and charisma.
Here's Clark. She fires and goes! She hit it!
By associating with Swift, she's not just hanging out with a celebrity, she's tapping into a whole new audience. Think about it. How many Taylor Swift fans suddenly know who Caitlin Clark is now? How many Taylor Swift fans are going to pay extra attention to Caitlin now? How many of them might tune into a women's basketball game for the first time? Travis Kelce jersey sales jumped 400%. Don't think that couldn't happen to Caitlin jerseys as well. If they didn't know who she was or didn't care, now they do. And this isn't the end of the collabs. This is actually where it gets really interesting. I've got to give it to Mick because he's been right about this all along.
This is the plan. Caitlin is going to be at a Chiefs game. And then, after that, it's going to be Taylor Swift at a WNBA game.
It's going to happen. Taylor's going to show up to a Fever game with Caitlin's family, wearing a designer Clark jersey or jacket or something, and the basketball world will lose it. It will be the biggest exposure the WNBA will ever get. You've already got Caitlin driving 26.5% of the revenue for the league, responsible for 1 of every 6 tickets sold. The Fever set the WNBA attendance record. The list of impact metrics directly related to Caitlin Clark goes on and on and on. Now, the attention she's bringing to the league has just intensified. It's on steroids. And this puts the haters in a really tough spot. You see, they've gotten away with taking pot shots at Caitlin, criticizing her every move, saying she gets favorable treatment because of her race, saying she doesn't deserve awards, and how other players should be featured more and share the glory. Critics came out of the woodwork, saying Clark's success is undeserved. Why? Because of her race and background. Can you believe it? We've got people actually suggesting that her talent isn't the reason for her success. It's like they've never watched her play. Take her rookie season, for example. It wasn't just good, it was historic. From the moment she stepped onto the court, she delivered performances that left fans, honest analysts, and even her competitors in awe. Her debut season in the WNBA was the kind of fairy tale story leagues dream of, marking a seismic shift in women's basketball. Clark averaged an astounding 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game during her rookie campaign. These aren't just solid numbers for a newcomer, they're historic. No rookie in WNBA history has ever debuted with that level of all-around excellence. Her ability to score from anywhere on the floor and orchestrate the offense made her a nightmare for opposing teams.
Steal. Clark thought about pulling up from 3, will dip inside and lay it in.
Take it at the rim. Here, hesitation. You have to come. Goes her first 2.
And it is Caitlin Clark able to clear for Indiana.
Caitlin coming off that 20-point performance right here, handling the physicality of Benaja Lane.
Take a look here at a career first.
Just step back, going right, I may add. It's usually step back, going left.
But Clark's impact wasn't confined to stats. She turned the Indiana Fever, a team many had written off as irrelevant, into playoff contenders overnight. Before her arrival, the Fever had endured years of mediocrity, failing to make the playoffs since 2016. With Clark, they didn't just qualify, they competed. It's no exaggeration to say she revitalized the franchise. Clark wasn't just a game changer on the court, she was a cultural phenomenon. Fever ticket sales soared by a staggering 250%, and viewership for their games reached record highs. Her debut game drew 2.1 million viewers, a figure that rivaled NBA broadcasts. Merchandise sales skyrocketed, with her jersey becoming the league's top seller almost instantly. She was a walking highlight reel, draining logo threes with ease, making jaw-dropping no-look passes, and hitting clutch shots when it mattered most. But beyond the highlights, she brought something even more valuable: hope. For young girls dreaming of playing basketball and for longtime WNBA fans who had been waiting for a transcendent talent, Caitlin Clark was the answer.
Lukic hounding Clark. Clark, step back three, knocks it down! Of that run to the finals before the Liberty fell to the Aces in 4 games. Clark connects on a three.
Just for that reason, they're too deadly from behind the arc.
An 11-0 run for New York. Clark, she got another.
Caitlin Clark's rookie season wasn't just a masterclass in basketball, it was a case study in brand building. While her numbers on the court were jaw-dropping, her impact off the court might be even more significant. Caitlin isn't just an athlete, she's becoming a household name, a cultural phenomenon, and a brand powerhouse. Even still, with all the stats to back up the hype, the haters continued on with their narratives. Remember when Caitlin was named the Time Athlete of the Year? It sparked widespread celebration among fans, but not everyone was excited. We had Sheila Johnson, owner of the Washington Mystics, questioning the fairness of singling out Clark when there were other WNBA players, particularly black athletes, who hadn't received similar recognition, implying that Clark's race, not her talent, played a role in her selection.
And it's because of the draft of the players that came in. It's just not Caitlin Clark, it's Reese. We have so much talent out there that has been unrecognized, and I don't think we can just pin it on one player.
But here's the reality for the haters. Because of her performance, it's becoming harder and harder to use emotional arguments like this against Caitlin. She's one of the 2025 MVP favorites not because of popularity, but because her post-Olympic numbers on a previously bottom-feeding team were MVP caliber. It's on-court results that led to the celebrity. Remember that $330 million stat? That's what keeps these haters up at night. Their rage against the money printing machine, which is Caitlin Clark, is because they know she is the catalyst for league growth, but hate that it's not them. So when Caitlin appears with Taylor to kick what could be a huge cross-promotion, their egos are again confronted with a tough choice. Celebrate that the league I helped build is skyrocketing in popularity, which is amazing for the athletes and women's sport in general. Or continue to kick the golden goose, save my ego, but the WNBA suffers. Now, I'm not saying a Caitlin Taylor friendship will increase the WNBA's value by $330 million. But it's clear Caitlin's essential to the WNBA's growth. Deep down, they know the league needs her. Clark's rise couldn't have come at a better time for the WNBA. The league has been hungry for a transcendent star, someone who can bridge the gap between casual fans and die-hard basketball enthusiasts. And Caitlin Clark has filled that void effortlessly. Her ability to draw fans to the game isn't just about her skills, it's about her charisma, her relatable personality, and her infectious passion for basketball. She's the player young girls want to emulate and casual fans want to watch. Her highlight reels, filled with logo threes, no-look passes, and clutch performances, are tailor-made for viral moments.
Back Benley. Here's Clark, a good look from three. She got it! The first.
Caitlin Clark does not need much space here.
Is this shooting? That was a wild sequence there. Clark the switch on to Dolson, steps back and buries a triple.
Clark's marketability skyrocketed as soon as she declared for the WNBA draft. Major brands lined up to align themselves with her. By the end of her rookie season, she already had deals with Nike, State Farm, and Gatorade. These partnerships aren't just about slapping her face on billboards. They're strategic moves to position Clark as a leader in the women's sports movement. For brands, she represents not just elite athleticism, but also a wave of cultural change where women's sports are finally stepping into the mainstream spotlight. Clark's digital presence is a masterclass in how athletes can engage fans directly. With over 3 million followers across platforms, she uses her accounts to share behind-the-scenes moments, interact with fans, and post jaw-dropping highlights that rack up millions of views. The kind of authenticity Clark displays resonates deeply with her audience, making her not just a player, but a role model. Her jersey became the top seller in the WNBA. Merchandise sales for the Indiana Fever skyrocketed, increasing by 1,193% compared to the previous season. Sponsorship revenue for the league grew significantly, with companies citing Clark's star power as a major factor in their investment. This is all money in the bank for the Fever and the WNBA. Her cultural and economic impact on the WNBA is undeniable. She's not just growing her brand, she's growing the league. Clark's rookie season laid the foundation, but her brand is only just beginning to bloom. She's on track to become not just the face of the WNBA, but a global sports icon. As she continues to dominate on the court and expand her influence off it, Caitlin Clark isn't just building a brand, she's redefining what it means to be a modern athlete. Her story is bigger than basketball, and for fans, sponsors, and the league itself, that's the real win.
Brink lobbing it inside. Hamby denied. It's 22, Caitlin Clark.
Because her performance is so good, she is leading with excellence. Much like Jordan, Kobe, and Tiger Woods, it's about leading with results and changing the game. It's about demanding more of yourself. This is exactly what her former coach was saying about her, how her approach was different from what other players might be used to.
You know, if you study Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, they really were big on trust and basketball IQ. And so for Caitlin, like, if you weren't really if she didn't think you were in the gym as much as you should be, then we're not going to, at the beginning, we're not going to pass you the ball, right? Because, my shot from 40 is going to be more consistent than yours is from maybe 15, right?
And this is just proof of how great Caitlin is. All of the greats also didn't give a f about feelings. They cared about winning. Some of the greats were also termed intense, so it's not like Caitlin is reinventing the wheel here. While the media tries to craft controversy around Caitlin, she's tame, not causing problems, and not doing anything risky. Every move and every sponsor is high profile. Beyond basketball, Clark recently showcased her versatility by competing in pro-am golf events, drawing even more attention to herself as a multi-talented athlete. Her appearance in these tournaments not only highlighted her charisma, but also expanded her brand's reach to a broader audience. This crossover appeal cements her as a cultural icon, proving she's more than just a basketball star. That is why she is Taylor approved. There are no skeletons, no risks. But building a great brand is more than just what you do. It's also what you choose not to do. She turned down $1 million to join Unrivaled. She doesn't need the cash. Despite a rookie salary of just $73,000, she's one of the top 10 highest earning female athletes in the world, all from endorsements. Hopefully someday I'll be able to turn down $1 million to rest. Which reminds me, have you subscribed yet? Unrivaled may be a fun project and hopefully it'll succeed, but let's be real. They needed her. She didn't need them. She is focused on prestige, and that's at the WNBA level. Not taking part set her apart from the rest. And yeah, Asia Wilson didn't join either. I'm only mentioning that so Cheryl Swoops doesn't downvote me.
Especially when the comparison is going to be drawn to Caitlin Clark, who isn't doing such things. That might not be fair. I'm not saying it is. And you certainly have the right to dress how you want and to do what you want and to live your life. But people have a right to have their opinions about what you put on display. And if they don't like it and they believe that it's not the right thing for you to be doing when you talk about building your brand, I don't know how you can argue that, Tor.
Where other players like Angel Reese use fashion to get attention, Caitlin doesn't do this. She doesn't act like Angel, mugging for cameras and wearing suggestive outfits to get exposure. She's squeaky clean. Okay, back to the haters. You know you've done something big when the haters come out in full force. And boy, did they ever. The moment Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift were spotted together at that Chiefs game, social media went into overdrive. But it wasn't all heart emojis and fire reactions. The hate was real, and it was fierce. They are jealous of her impact on the league, but how long can they fight the momentum? Caitlin's the clear driver for the league. It needs her right now. The WNBA has troubles, still loses money, and it is propped up by the NBA. The haters continuing to discount her results and abilities is like cutting off your nose to spite your face. They are starting to look foolish. People aren't buying it. Question her play on the court all you like, but it's time to lean in and ride the hot hand. Not doing so is foolish. But here's what the haters don't get. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's not even just about sports. What we're seeing with Caitlin Clark is a cultural shift. She's not just an athlete, she's becoming an icon. And that scares the living daylights out of some people. Think about it. When was the last time a female athlete got this much attention? When was the last time women's basketball was a hot topic at the water cooler? Clark isn't just playing the game, she's changing it. And every time she steps out of the traditional box like, say, hanging out with Taylor Swift at a football game, she's pushing those boundaries even further. But here's the truth that's driving Clark's haters absolutely crazy. She's winning. Not just on the court, but off it too. Every accusation, every bit of criticism, every attempt to tear her down, it's just making her star shine brighter. It's bringing more attention to women's basketball, more eyes to the sport, and more growth opportunities. The haters can cry sell out or privilege all they want, but the numbers don't lie. Viewership is up. Attendance is breaking records. People are talking about women's basketball in a way they never have before. And at the center of it all, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she's a movement. From her record-breaking rookie season to her cultural crossover moments with global icons, she's reshaping what's possible for women in sports. She's a game changer. On the court, where her skills demand respect, and off the court, where her influence brings new eyes to the WNBA. The question isn't whether Caitlin Clark will dominate, it's how high she'll take the game with her. And as for the haters, they can keep talking, because Caitlin, she's too busy winning. So, whether you're here to cheer her on or just to see what she does next, one thing is certain. Caitlin Clark is just getting started. And trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Still here? Let me know in the comments and I'll give you a thumbs up. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. See you next time.